Good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday. It is now 7:03 p.m. on August 8th, 2023. We're going to go ahead and get started. I want to first just give a little information to our new students. I know some of you have been having difficulty with understanding the assignments in the Google Classroom. So in Google Classroom, when you look in the classwork, it states the date. Yeah, can you put yourself on mute, please?
Oh, God.
So in Google Classroom, you will see in there where it will state, let me share my screen. So this is Google Classroom. So at the top, you should see where it says classwork. So when you click on classwork, on here is going to have the date when it's due. So on here, this says due yesterday. Then it would have due at 11:59. So this assignment is due 11:59, due tomorrow, due August 10th, due August 11th. So your daily assignments are due every night by 11. I give you all on here 11:59 p.m. Your labs are due on Sunday. So best practice is, though, to do your daily assignment and lab. So on Friday, you're done. You don't have anything else to complete or work on. But you do have until Sunday. But just remember, if you try to wait until Friday, then you have 5 labs that you have to try and complete by Sunday, which can become overwhelming. So try to complete your daily assignment and lab on that same day, but you do have until Sunday to complete labs. That's only labs. Your daily assignments are due every night by 11:59, and that's how you're marked present in class. If you do not complete that assignment by that time, you're marked absent. So on here, it shows everybody that's in the class. So these are everybody that's listed in the class. So I have, if you did not log into Google Classroom, you will not be listed as a student. So please, if you have not done so, please try and log in to your Google Classroom. So far, I have majority of everyone in Google Class. Another thing, for your e-learning, to get into e-learning, you have to have a Unitech email. So I was notified today that they're having difficulty with that system. It's going to be down tomorrow, as well as they said late Wednesday. So if you have not logged into e-learning to take that exam, because this exam is also in e-learning. So all of my seasoned students, you shouldn't have a problem with logging into e-learning. I know I have 2 students who are having some concerns with getting into e-learning, 2 of my newer students. So if you're still unable to get into e-learning, when it comes time to that exam, remember you have until Sunday to take that exam. So it will be back up and running by Wednesday night. So you still would have time to go in and complete that exam because it's not due until Sunday. Any questions in reference to Google Classroom? Does everyone understand how you find your classwork and the due dates, your daily assignments, and your labs? Let me do one more thing. With Google Classroom, let me go back to classwork. So assignment that was due on, let's see, let me go up. Let's say due tomorrow. So when you look at this, the way I have it in here is the course, medical billing and coding, your class date, which is tomorrow, August 9th, 2023, which is Wednesday. The resources that you will be using is the medical coding book. Your instructional materials would be your textbook, your PowerPoint slides, your workbook, and Zoom. That's just everything that we use for this course. That doesn't mean that all of your assignments are going to be in like the textbook or the workbook. If it's in the textbook, next to that assignment, I would have textbook. If it's in your workbook, I would have workbook. So it's never just going to be you have to look in both books. I will always have it which book you're using. So for your course objectives, so for your daily assignment for tomorrow, it says lesson 2. So lesson 11.1, foundation of evaluation and management. These are your objectives. You do not have to do all of your objectives. You're only responsible for doing when I have submit. So right here, and I have it in bold, identify and explain the 3 factors of EM code assignment, submit. So that is one of your objectives, but that's not all of the objectives that you would have to submit. So I don't want anyone going in and do all 6 or 7 objectives. You're only to do the when it's in bold that says submit. So then it has, this is lab. These labs are due on Sunday. And it has on here, read chapter 11 and chapter 11 PowerPoint slides. I provided those PowerPoint slides for you a little early, about 20 minutes ago, for the next chapter. Then for your labs, it has chapter 11, exercise 11.1, 11.2, quick check 11.1, 11.2, and toolbox 11.1. So it says submit. So everything that's in bold, these are your labs. You have 7 days to complete it. They're due on Sunday. But best practice is, if you can, try to complete them on the same day. Excuse me?
I have a question about the submitting. Could we do it like on one thing and submit everything as far as like the assignment and lab, or do we have to do like assignment and lab?
How are you submitting it?
I was submitting it with just the assignment and then doing the lab afterwards. But I mean, if I can do it all in one whack, then...
Well, that's fine, but just remember, if you do that, make sure you're doing that daily assignment, because if not, you'll be marked absent. But
Gotcha.
if you do any assignment, you're going to be marked present. For anything you submit, you will be marked present.
Okay.
So you can do both if you would like, in that same assignment. Yes, you can.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure of.
Yes. Any other questions in reference to Google Classroom? So does everyone understand how and what's required and how to submit your assignments?
Yes, ma'am, I understand, but for that chapter, hold on, let me get back to it. It says chapter 9.
So we're not in
exam
chapter 9.
2. Huh?
We're not in chapter 9. We're in chapter 10, and we're starting chapter 11 today, because chapter 11 starts tomorrow, because your exam for chapter 10 is tonight. It's today.
Right. That's what I was confused about, because it's showing up saying that I got an F for that.
Okay. As I explained in that video in a Zoom call, everything that you have prior, you're not responsible for. You started on the day, on last Monday. So you did not start any of your assignments until Monday that just started. Yesterday, matter of fact. So you're not responsible for any of those grades. Those grades are dropped manually.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure, because that's what I was confused about.
Right. So anything in chapter 9, you're not responsible for. Your assignment started on yesterday. You were just responsible for completing all of your orientation. You had until Friday to complete all of your orientation assignments. Your first day where you will receive a grade is based on Monday's assignment.
Okay. So Monday, technically I have until Sunday to turn in.
Your labs.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. Your daily assignment for Monday was due Monday night by 11:59. And your labs are due on Sunday. You can do them anytime, because, like, remember, if you wait until Friday, then you have 5 labs to complete, have completed by Sunday. So if you can, try to do that daily assignment and lab. But if not, like, I know we have other things going on, but you would need to have them all completed by Sunday, 11:59 p.m.
And the daily assignments is going to be in Google Classroom.
Everything is in Google Classroom. Your daily assignment is right here, what I showed. Let me go back up to the beginning.
I just want to make sure because I don't want to miss anything because I'm confused.
Right, understood. That's why we're going over it now. So right here, you see daily assignment.
Hold on. Yes, ma'am.
So this is your daily assignment. And everything that you need to submit will be in bold. So you're going to submit, identify and explain the 3 factors of EM code assignment. It says submit. And you're going to read chapter 11 and your chapter 11 PowerPoint slides. That's your assignment. That's due tomorrow.
Okay.
By 11:59 p.m.
Okay.
So it's always going to say daily assignment. And then anything and everything that you have to submit is going to be in bold, and I'm going to have submit by it. If it doesn't have submit by it, that means you do not have to submit it.
Okay.
I just place those objectives for you to know what's being covered in the chapter. And then
okay,
here is
thank you for clarifying that.
Okay, yeah, sure, of course. And then here is your lab. This is your labs, and this is due by Sunday. But if you can, try to complete it on that same day or during the week. It doesn't have to be on that same day, but during the week, so you don't have all of that to complete on Friday. You're trying to submit everything at the same time because that can become overwhelming.
Yes, ma'am. And as far as, like she said, submitting, it allows me to do it by Google Doc. Is that fine if I just add it in by Google Doc?
Yes, any way you can, long as I receive it.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions while we're in Google Classroom?
I was confused, but I got my kids to show me how to do it, so I gotta understand
Look
how
at
to
that.
do it
That's
now.
good. But do you understand now since we're going over it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. And remember, like I said, if you have questions, the only way you're going to find out is asking. Do not feel ashamed or, like, oh, I don't want to know. No, if you don't know, how are you going to know if you don't ask questions?
Okay, I have a question. You might have covered this already. How do I go about submitting the work?
So there are 2 ways.
Okay.
See right here let me go down, where it says 5 class comments.
Okay.
You can submit your assignments in the comment section.
Okay.
Or you can email me your assignment.
Okay.
So either way, whatever is best and feels comfortable for you, you can do it that way. I'll get it.
Okay.
When I did mine yesterday, I submitted it all at the bottom where it says submit your work. Is that fine?
Yeah, either way. That's what I'm saying. You have several ways to submit. You can submit it in comments. You can submit it and submit your work. You can submit it via email. It's all, long as you submit it, I'm going to receive it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I received yours, Jared.
That's what I said. So I got a question. I was a little confused, but I submitted it earlier today. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get no points for it, but I said I was confused. So can I at least get half the points?
I'm confused now. What are you saying?
For the daily assignment for yesterday, see, when I was receiving emails, I was getting them like back to back. So when I got my emails, it said exam, and it said exam 2 due today. And then I turned around and got the daily assignment for you, and it said it was due yesterday. And then when I went into the actual Google Classroom, I seen everybody was commenting. I was like, oh Lord. So I threw in my little comment for the daily assignment.
Right. So let me explain. So your assignments are already there. I do the assignments for the week. It opens and you're able to submit on the day that it opens.
Right.
So the assignments are there Monday through Friday. So when you click on, just like I showed you, it's going to tell you, like, let me go back so you can see.
I was going to say, yeah, go to the assignment for yesterday so I can tell you what I'm talking about.
Okay, let me go back. Due yesterday, right here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you put it
I
in
just,
comments?
I think so. That's why I said I click on it. Let me see.
Let me go down.
Or maybe I did the one for today. I don't know. That's why I said I was confused. Nope, I don't see it. Probably not. Okay.
So remember, did you email it to me?
No, I didn't. I didn't. No, I didn't. I ain't gonna lie to you. I must have did today's, thinking it was for yesterday or whatever the case may be. That's why I said I was just confused. I'm sorry.
So I'm letting all of you see. I can see who's submitting.
Right.
So I can see everything. And some people are emailing me. So I am able to see everybody that submit their assignments here.
Right. That's why I said I think I ended up doing today's and submitted today's assignment, thinking it was for yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so on here, so you see it shows like classwork. And so when we're in stream, this is where I send all of those emails. Like today, I posted your chapter 11 PowerPoint slides. Stream, it goes directly out, so you'll be able to see at that moment. Your Zoom class, I posted the link. Everything, like when I posted, you'll always be able to go and stream and you're able to see all of those assignments.
Okay.
Your chapter 10 PowerPoint slides, everything that we go over is due. But remember, your exam is due by Sunday.
Okay.
So you have until Sunday to complete. So if y'all need to review, go back over the modifiers. We're not going to do another review because that was in the class on Thursday, the combined classes where they did everything and went over modifiers. Modifiers was a very short chapter. So chapter 11 starts tomorrow. So we're about to go into chapter 11.
Okay.
So any other questions? I want everybody to be able to, understand and know what they're doing. I don't want anyone confused.
I'm just terrified of the book. That's all.
Any
other questions or concerns?
Okay, so basically, if you missed out on the assignment yesterday, you got marked absent. Is basically what you're saying.
Okay, I can't see who I'm talking to. Who is it? It says
Tyra.
Tyra. Hi, Tyra.
Hey, how are you?
Fine. So I'm giving you all, since so many, the new students were having difficulty, if, like I said, if you communicate with me, letting me know that you're having difficulty, you don't understand, and you're staying in communication, you still will be marked present.
Okay.
If you don't tell me anything, like I said, I'm not a mind reader, so I wouldn't know. And if you're not communicating, if you're not sending me messages to let me know that you're not understanding, and I don't receive your assignment, you will be marked absent.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just like, when I got overwhelmed with all the emails at one time, so it was just like, okay, what needs to be done today? And so I got it now. Right. I understand now.
Okay, so with the emails, all of you got to realize this is not our normal platform. We were in e-learning, but we're switching to a new platform, which is going to be called Moodle. Once we get back in Moodle, it'll be much easier. You'll be able to understand. But what I do, that's why it's in Stream, because in Stream, you can go back and look at everything. You'll be able to go back and review. So a lot of times I send out emails in the evening, because sometimes when I send them out early, a lot of students were saying they didn't, they missed it, or they were at work, they didn't get a chance to open it. So that's why I send the emails out. I try to send them out in the evening or at night so that you will have time to review them and look over everything. All of your information, it's going to be in Stream. Everything that I'm sending to you will be in Stream, like important information, until we go back to a new platform, which is Moodle. So just make sure, though, that you take your time and you read the emails that I am sending to you and posting. I know I did send a lot out last night, but that was because it was the exam that was going to be due, and I wanted the new students to know that it wasn't going to be in Google Classroom. It was going to be in the Unitech portal. When you go into that Unitech portal under coursework, When you go there, then you will see that they have 3 sections: daily assignment, exams, and labs. And you would click on where it would says day 3 exam. It would have the date and it's due Sunday. So does everyone, my new students, do you all know where to find your exam and e-learning?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, great. So now we're going to get to the good stuff.
Yay.
Chapter 11. Evaluation and management services. So on Thursday, we're going to have a combined class, and Miss Marcia Gallagher will be explaining. This is her favorite section in CPT, evaluation and management. So she wants to do the Zoom class on chapter 11, evaluation and management. So remember, on Thursday, it's a different link, Zoom link that you will receive, because the instructors are providing these classes, and so they will send me their link, and I will post the link in the stream informing you that this is the combined Zoom class. So just remember, so I'll be sending that out either Wednesday night when they send it to me, Wednesday evening or Wednesday night, to remind you, and I'll send it again out on Thursday to remind you of the combined class on Thursday for 4 p.m. So chapter 11, evaluation and management service. This is a very important chapter. So the basics. In this first chapter, if you're reading and paying attention to what you're reading, you're going to have the answer to your daily assignment for tomorrow. So that's why it's important to pay attention to what we're going over and what we're reading. Read your PowerPoint slides. It's very, very important, because all of the answers are there for you. So evaluation and management. So it tells you here, the vast majority of a general practice services are reported with evaluation and management codes. So EM stands for evaluation and management, often in excess of 80%. Your abstracting skills will be put to the test. Assigning these codes and being an efficient and effective coder, you need to know how to assign EM codes. Very important. You have to know how to assign evaluation and management codes. So the chapter topics: contents of the EM section, 3 factors of EM codes, that's your daily assignment for tomorrow, Office of Other Outpatient Code Guidelines, various levels of EM services, evaluation and management services, and EM code example, using the EM codes, documentation guidelines, and your chapter review. So your learning objectives that we will cover in this chapter is identify and explain. See, that was also at the top. Identify and explain the 3 factors of EM code assignment. That's your daily assignment for tomorrow. So that's the first objective. So we're going to read through that, and you're going to have your answer. So everyone should have that answer correct. Make sure, if you don't understand, that you do go back and review your Zoom class, because you'll find your answers. That's stuff that we go through, and you'll have your answers. So the first objective: identify and explain the 3 factors of EM code assignment. Differentiate between a new and an established patient. Differentiate between an inpatient and an outpatient. Explain the levels of EM service. Review the key components. Analyze the key component history. And we're only going to go through a few, and then on Thursday, you'll go through some more objectives as well. So today, we're going to go to contents of the EM section. So for my new students, the beginning of CPT starts in chapter 8. So if you want to go back and review chapter 8, it's in your classroom, your stream, the objectives and the PowerPoint slides for chapter 8. If you want to go back and review that, that will be very helpful for you. But you will come back to this, in your Ferris wheel, you will circle back to this. Contents of the EM section. The information in chapter 8 describe the basic format of the CPT manual. The information and exercises in this chapter will familiarize you with the first section of the CPT manual, evaluation and management. Locate the index in the EM section of the CPT manual titled Evaluation and Management Services Guidelines. So if you have your CPT manual, I need you to locate the Evaluation and Management section. So the Evaluation and Management section is where in your CPT manual?
It's the very first one.
Yes. So Evaluation and Management is the first chapter in your CPT manual. Did all of my new students get your books in?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, mine
Yes,
came yesterday.
Okay, great. So open that big old packet, that big old book, and what color is Evaluation and Management?
Red.
Right. So it's red. It's the first chapter in your CPT manual. Also, new students, I have it placed in here. I have videos on how to tab your manual. I'll send that out to you all again on how to tab your CPT manual. So the first chapter in the CPT manual is red. So if you go back a little bit before that, you're going to see diagrams, and it's going to tell you evaluation and management tables. And you're going to see in the red section, it's going to say office or other outpatient services, in initial hospital inpatient or observation care. It's right before the red pages. It's going to have all of the specialties, office of other outpatient services, subsequent hospital, and then it's going to tell you the levels. Medically appropriate, medical decision-making, straightforward, low, moderate, high. So we're going to get more into that, but that's where you would find your levels of complexity. It provides a listing of headings and subheadings for the categories and subcategories of evaluation and management services as illustrated in the table below. So what I was just showing you, you'll see here, if you look in the red section, you should be on page 1. The red page start on page 1. And you would see on there, it says office or other outpatient services. And it has the code range, 99202 to 99205. So that's office or other outpatient services. That's for a new patient. So if you go to 99207, then you know that that's not a new patient, because the code range for new patient is 99202 to 99205. So when you're looking at those guidelines and the code ranges, that should be able to assist you. So anything outside of that wouldn't be considered a new patient. So then for established patient, an established patient starts at 99211 and goes to 99215. 99218 wouldn't be an established patient. So then you go to hospital observation services. And so under that category is observation care discharge services, initial observation care, subsequent observation care. And you have your code ranges. So make sure that you look at all of the code ranges, your hospital inpatient services, consultations. And once you become familiar as the code ranges, this will help you when you have a scenario. And if it says consultations, you know that you're going to go under consultations. You're going to look in those code ranges. If it's an office of other outpatient consultations, or if it's inpatient consultations, you'll know where to look. Emergency department services. So make sure you do review this long section. And it's just telling you code range. You're never going to remember that. You just know on what subtitles to look under. Next, 3 factors of EM codes. Your daily assignment. Code assignment for tomorrow in the EM section varies according to 3 factors. place of service, type of service, patient status. So these are your 3 factors of EM codes. You have to know the place of service, you have to know the type of service, and then you also have to know the patient status. If you don't have this information, you'll go wrong. So these are the 3 factors of EM codes. So your place of service. This is the first factor you must consider in code assignment is the place of service. So it tells you here, place of service, office. Let's move in. Office, hospital, emergency department, nursing home. That's your place of service. Place of service explains the setting in which the services were provided to the patient. Codes vary depending on the place of the service. Places of service can be a physician's office, hospital, emergency department, nursing home, and so on. Then next, you have to have the type of service. The second factor in code assignment is the type of service. So the first thing is your place of service. Second is your type of service. So the type of service, was it a consultation, admission, newborn care, or office visit? Type of service is the reason the service is requested or performed. Examples of type of service are consultation, admission, newborn care, and office visit. Consultation is a written or verbal request from one provider, physician to another to obtain an opinion and or advice about a diagnosis or management option. Admission is attention to an acute illness or injury that results in admission to a hospital. Newborn care is the evaluation and determination of case management of a newly born infant. Office visit. So remember when you're trying to go, office visit is a face-to-face encounter between a physician and a patient to allow for primary management of the patient's healthcare status. So in order to do any placement of services, you have to have the 3 factors. You have to have the place of service. You have to have the type of service. And what's next? Place of service, type of service, and what?
And the patient status.
But before the patient status, what is it?
The type of service, the place of service, and the patient status.
Right, but I'm saying, so what consists of the patient status?
New or established.
Right. Correct. So that would determine like if it's a new or established patient. So once you do that, you have the 4 types of patient status or new patient, established patient, outpatient, and inpatient. Codes are often grouped in the CPT manual according to the type of patient involved. So a new patient is one this is very important because a lot of people get this confused. A new patient is one who has not received professional services from the physician or another physician of the exact same specialty and subspecialty in the same group within the past 3 years. That's the only way a patient can be described as a new patient. Within the past 3 years. An established patient is one who has received professional services from the physician or another physician of the exact same specialty and subspecialty in the same group within the past 3 years. So always make sure you know how to distinguish between a new patient and an established patient. New patient hasn't been seen, physician or another physician of the exact same specialty and subspecialty in the same group within the past 3 years, established, they have been seen in the past 3 years by the same group or specialty, same specialty. Outpatient is one who has not been formally admitted to a healthcare facility or a patient admitted for observation. That's considered outpatient. Inpatient is one who has been formally admitted to a healthcare facility. So remember, for your exercise, the questions are going to be from information that we have just covered. So number 1, it states 3 factors of EM codes. Where is the place of service?
Inpatient or outpatient?
No, where is the place of service?
Office, the hospital, and emergency room.
Correct. What is the type of service?
Hospital.
No, not for the type of service. The place of service is hospital, office visit. What is the type of service?
Consultation, admission.
Oh, yeah.
Office visit.
Okay, so let's go back up. So see, that's why with the make sure we're understanding what we're reading.
Is it office visits, admission, consultation, and prolonged?
Right, that's the type of service. Consultation, admission, those are the types of service. So that's right here. Consultations, office or outpatient consultations, inpatient consultations, those are types of services. So when you're reading, just make sure that you're going back. And we went, that was a place of service, types of service, consultation, you see it, admissions, newborn care, office visit. That's the types of service. Then we have patient status. So what is the patient status?
New patient, established patient, inpatient, outpatient.
Correct. So whenever you're doing your exercises, always remember, the information is always going to be before the exercise. It's never going to be after. So that means that you have to read thoroughly as to what you're reading and understanding what it is. And this, you're also getting the answers to one of your assignments. So let's go over this again because we had a little difficulty. Where is the place of service?
Nursing homes, hospitals,
Office visit.
office visits.
Okay, what is the type of service?
Consultation, not consultation.
That's right.
No, consultation, right?
Consultations, admissions, office visits, and prolonged services.
Yes. What is the patient status?
Inpatient.
No, established.
Established patient, outpatient, and inpatient.
And
Correct.
inpatient.
So what is the first code number listed under the subheading new patient?
99202.
Okay, so that you will find that right up here. New patient 99202 through 99205. That's the chart. So you'll use this, or you can use it in your book. Next it states, and what is the So it was the subheading under new patient. So the CPT code for new patient, which was 99205. 99202 to 99205. So I'm sorry, the subheading they wanted to know for this was what? What was the subheading for a new patient?
99202 to 99205.
No, that was the code, the CPT code. What is the subheading?
Office or other outpatient services.
Correct. So the
Oh,
subheading for that section is office or other outpatient services. The code for that is for a new patient is 99202 through 99205. So did everyone understand that section and how we got those answers? You have to read that information prior. It's always right there ahead of you. And remember, these are the type of things that will be on your exam. So just remember that. So I want to show you all the PowerPoint slides for those of you who prefer to use PowerPoint slides. It's still always good to review your in your book. But for those of you who can do better with the PowerPoint slides, I'm going to show that to you all. So this chapter 11, I sent this to you all. So in your CPT for evaluation and management, these are the PowerPoint slides, and it helps a lot of people. A lot of students say it's easier for them. For CPT, you're coding for services. Your job is to code what is documented in the medical record. So you're always going to be documenting what is in the medical record. And when you're reading your PowerPoint slides, make sure you're reading the information in the gray box at the bottom. It gives you a full explanation. When incomplete information is provided, the physician or physician's assistant must provide additional details. It is never appropriate for the coder to make assumptions that go beyond the information provided. It says why it is necessary to limit coding to the documentation in the patient's medical record. The medical record is the documentation that supports a claim. If that record is incomplete, the claim is not supportable. If it is not documented, it did not happen from the standpoint of making a claim for service relevant and rendered. So everything that you're going to be coding has to come from that documentation in the medical record. If it wasn't documented, it didn't happen. That's the rule for all type of medical services. If it wasn't documented, it didn't happen. So remember, your job is to code what is documented in the medical record. Your job is also to optimize, never maximize. Optimize equals get the most out of. Maximize is to increase or make as great as possible and accurately report documented services. The bottom, it shows you here, reimbursement is provided for the services and procedures actually delivered to the patient. It is important to optimize reimbursement, that is to ensure that the appropriate amount, neither more nor less than what is due, is paid to the provider.
When you get finished with that, can I ask you a question about that?
Yes.
Okay.
It says, how does the statement, if it is not documented, it did not happen, apply to the coder's job of preparing claims for reimbursement? Only those procedures that are documented can be included on claims submitted to the third-party payer. In the absence of the documentation, the claim cannot be submitted, and it is as if the services providers were never delivered to the patient. And your question.
Okay, so say a provider bills for 99212. but the services that they rendered is actually, they could actually charge for a 99214. Would it be legal for a coder to change that code from the 212 to a 214? Or, I mean, a biller, or does the provider have to change that?
Yes, you should never change a code without referring to that physician.
So it's okay for you to change it as long as the provider knows.
No,
or as long as the provider is saying, yes, that's the services I rendered, you know.
And then he would have to put an addendum and document that in the patient's medical record.
Before you send it off to the insurance company.
Right, because let me tell you what happened. If you bill for something and you don't have that documentation, even though you knew it was for something else, it won't get paid. It'll get kicked back to you. And then that other service might pay more, might be reimbursed for a higher amount. So you would, So you would talk to that physician and let him know, by you being the biller or that coder, letting him know, well, this is what should have been done, and then let him document that in that patient's record, so you'll have that documentation to support what you're saying.
Right, because if not, that'll be billing fraud.
That's fraud, exactly.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Yes, it is definitely fraud. Yes, great question. So look at that, Antonia. A crime.
See, yeah, that's what yeah.
A crime. Coding for services not provided is a crime. Fraud. Billing for services never rendered. Coding for services not provided is fraud. It's felony, punishable by fines, imprisonment, or both. This is true even when there is no intent on the part of the coder or others as the provider staff to commit fraud. And it goes on to say, how can fraud occur without intent? Lack of proper documentation for claims submitted can result in those claims being identified as fraudulent. The same penalties apply in this case as in the case where there was clear intent to bill for services never delivered. Even if you know that the services were delivered, if there is no documentation in the patient record, they cannot be billed. So you see that, Antonio, right there, all of the information.
Right. Yeah, okay.
Yes. Yes. Next. Chapter 11 reviews 1 of 2. EM evaluation and management section reports physician services. Subsections by type of service. Type of service. Office, hospital, consultation. Those are types of services. 3 factors of EM codes. Remember the 3 factors? Place of service, type of service, and patient status. And we went over this, the place of service, what it explains, setting of service, office, emergency department, nursing home. So this is all we're going to cover for today, because I don't want you all to become overwhelmed. I want you all to get familiar with that first section, looking in your CPT manual, making sure that you all understand how to look up, different discussions, your notes, knowing where the place of service, the type of service, looking at all of that so you can better understand what's going on. So again, I'm about to take your picture so I can document. This is a 10-point. You will receive 10 additional points for this class. And remember to write your points down. So when you need to use them, if you want to use them to add to your exam, if you want to use it for to add to an assignment or a lab, you can. But you please keep count of your assignments, and then you can email me or text me to inform you of where you want the points placed. So
did we get points for Thursday?
Yes, you did.
Grandma, you had to come home. Now sit back.
How many we got Thursday? Because I don't remember you telling us.
So I didn't, for her class, she gave 5 points for that class.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
5 points for that class. You're welcome. So remember, can someone put their phone on mute?
Okay, what did I say? Now
Yes,
sit back.
please put your phone on mute. So another thing to remember is, I want you all to remember, when you see that first grade on your exam, please do not become alarmed. When you have to submit an answer and you have to write it in, if you put a small letter, like if you put like when we were in ICD 10, or if you put, it was one for emergency, and you put a small e and the system has a capital E, it will be marked wrong. I will then, when I'm reviewing the exams, I will then go back in and I will update it. So when you have to submit or type in an answer, I have to go back in and update. So it's not a problem because the system always does that. And that's in any little platform. If it's not exactly how they have it, it'll mark it wrong. But I do go back in and I update and I change the grade. So I want you all to think, like, if you see that you might have had an F and then you say, I had all of those answers correct, that means that I haven't gone in yet to correct and make the changes. So I don't want you to become alarmed and saying like, that was right. And then you understand, you get confused and you're thinking like, well, I'm thinking I'm understanding and I'm not. No, I have to go in manually and update your grades.
My problem is I put in capital letters.
Right. So if you put in capital and if it's the right answer, it's still going to be marked correct. But I'm saying at the time when you all look at your grade, it might say like a 72 or 84. But if I haven't gone in, and you should get an email or someone, I put your little grade and I'll say great work or whatever, you'll get that email showing that it was updated. So I just want you all to be aware that when you might see a little grade and you know that your answers were correct, give me a chance and time to go back in and update your grades. I have several classes, that I am, teaching. So it takes time for me to go through each class and put in grades and update grades, but it will be done. And not that long, but it's just like right now they're having trouble with e-learning and updating the system. So I know that the system is going to be down tomorrow. So that's why I'm saying when you all do go in to take that exam, you have until Sunday to take the exam. And remember, if you start that exam, you have to have completed. You cannot start and then think you can go back that Friday once you're looking at the questions and you're researching and getting the answers, because it's open book. When you take it, you have all of the resources available. You all should have all the links that I provided for you. If you didn't have your books, you should have your books now, and you should be able to get the information. Everything that we're covering, everything that's on your exam is in your chapters, it's in your PowerPoint slides. So it shouldn't be a reason if you're rushing through it and you're not reading the question, because I had several people get what does CPT stand for wrong. And that's because you're rushing through it and you're not taking your time, because it's tricky. That current procedure terminology, current procedural terminology. So if you're not paying attention and you're just rushing through, you're going to get that information incorrect. So please just take that extra time to read through each question and answer, and you'll have a better outcome. Any other questions?
So for Thursday, for the group chat, we bring our CPT book, right?
Yeah, for Zoom, the Zoom class.
Yes.
Yes, because I mean, evaluation and management is in your CPT book.
Okay. I just want to make sure, because the last couple of times, I think we were in HCPCS.
Yeah, that was a small little chapter, HCPCS. So you needed your HCPCS manual. But we're in evaluation and management. And then just always have your books available if you can. If you're at home, you can have your books available, because I mean, who's say, well, find an ICD-10 code, find a CPT code. So always, and then you remember you have the links. So it shouldn't be that difficult. You can put it in your little link that I provided. You have the CPT, HCPCS, ICD-10 links that you can log into to get the answers as well.
Yeah, yesterday was a good example of that, because we had to go into our CPT book and look up what the modifier was, and then we had to go into our ICD book and look up the code.
Correct.
So I had to pull out Behemoth.
So
That's my nickname for it.
It's practice. Practice makes perfect, but you're never going to know all of the codes. This is for your, for you to be able to pass that national certification exam. But you're never going to know the codes because remember, whatever specialty you go in or whatever clinic you go in, you're going to be coding specifically to what they're required. High blood pressure, diabetes.
I'm proud of myself because I went through the ICD-10 book and I actually found both codes.
Great. See, practice makes perfect. So like I said, I always use, if you go through a diabetic clinic, you're not going to be coding things in an ophthalmology clinic or anything like that. You're not going to be coding those things. So always remember that whatever field you go in, you'll be coding specifically for that field. Because if they have something like if you're in a diabetic clinic and you're going through or having glaucoma or something like that, they're going to give you a referral to an eye clinic. If you're going in and your feet is hurting or you're having something going on with your toe, they're going to give you a referral to that specialty.
Yeah.
So unless you're in a hospital setting and you're coding for everything, then, it depends. Because if you're in an outpatient clinic, you're only going to be coding outpatient codes. Inpatient, you're going to be. So it's a difference. And you do have that opportunity to choose what area you feel you understand best and try to get employment with that specialty that you're most comfortable with.
I will say this. As long as it is not pregnancy or cardiovascular, I'm good.
So, I mean, that's your choice. And so that's good. So you know that you don't want to work in a cardiovascular clinic and you don't want to work in a newborn clinic. So that will be your options to decide. But like I said, that's why you have to know everything to pass that national certification. But that's just the stuff that you have to know for that exam to get certified. Right. Once you're in that clinic, that specialty is where you're going to be. And you probably, if you're in, like you might be in, like I said, a hypertensive clinic, you might not ever see none of the other codes. But it depends. But it's always good to have that knowledge because then you can cross-train and then your pay grade can go up. So it's always good to have different areas that you're comfortable with so that you can increase your pay.
Put it on the back burner for right now for just in case if you need it.
Right. Because you want to always be able to increase your pay and then you can say and dictate to them, okay, it's what you're willing to accept as pay and what you're not willing to accept. So you will have that option, but you'll only have that option once you get that certification.
Right, right.
And also remember, again, if you all feel that you're able to take that medical office assistant exam, you can do that as well before you graduate. This national certification exam, you only can take that once you finish the course. But the medical office assistant exam, you can take that if you feel comfortable. You can take that before you graduate and have that certification as well. And then once you graduate, you'll have 2 certifications that will also be helpful with you deciding on your pay. Because you have those 2 certifications. So you can say, okay, well, I can also assist in this area as well as this. So with that extra, certification, you can also increase your pay.
So with the medical office one, trying to think. Could we get like notes and stuff, like packets to kind of help us?
I provided that to you. The medical office. I'll send it again for my new students. I don't think you all have that. So I'll send those to you. So if you want to review it, which we'll be going through that, but I'll send it to you if you want to review it and you think that you might know some information with it and you can take that before you graduate and get your certification for that. So I'll send that out. Matter of fact, I'll send it out to you when we get it. Once I convert this and send it to you. So look, who said I was sending out the emails back to back? Well, you'll have 2 tonight. You'll have 2 tonight. I'm going to send.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Let me get the praying.
So I'm going to send the medical office assistant packet so that you all can have that to keep and review. If you want to print it, you can have that. And if you review it and then you say, well, I think I can do this and you feel comfortable with taking it, you can go ahead before you graduate and take that exam. So I'm going to send that packet out to you all as well as this Zoom link. Once it's converted, I'll be sending it. So I'm only going to send 2 emails to you all tonight. I won't bombard you.
Okay, thank God.
So I will do
Poor
that.
baby.
And I mean, so how do you all want me to do? You want me to, if I have stuff to send 1 or 2 in the morning and then send the other ones at night? Let me know. Give me some feedback.
Yeah, I like that. Because when I see them, all I see is Crystal Berry. I was like, okay, where do I start?
Literally.
Okay. So what I'll do moving forward, so y'all have to communicate. I'm willing to adapt. You just have to let me know what's best. So what I'll do, I'll send out, now remember, I'm going to send y'all reminders for Zoom now. Because I know sometimes
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
I know a lot of times people are working and they forget. So I'll send those reminders. I'm telling you all now, Thursday is the combined class with all of the instructors. I'll be sending that out to you as soon as I get it tomorrow from that instructor. And I will send it again out on Thursday around 2 or 3, just as a reminder. Because a lot of times we get busy. We're like, oh, Lord, I forgot. So that's why I send out the reminders. But tonight and moving forward, I will send out emails in the morning, and then I won't send out anything until after 5. Is that okay?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
that'll work.
That'll work for me.
Okay. Well, thank
Until
you.
I get up to speed. Then once I get up to speed, then you can send them how you want to send them.
No, I mean, I want to do what's best for you all. What's best for you all to get the information and not miss anything. So that's what I'm saying. Communication, let me know what you all want. I want you all to be successful. I want you all to be able to understand what's going on, not me sending and you're missing something. I want you to be able to have and get the information.
Yes.
So any other questions before we log off? It is 8:04. We have done an hour.
I have a question, but it's more like personal. So whenever you have time.
Okay, so you can call me. I can log off like once we convert, because this will be a converting, and you can call me on my cell.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all. Enjoy your evening. Remember, write down your points. You had 10 points for today. Mark that down. Remember, you can use them wherever you wish. And remember, you have until Sunday to take that exam. And tomorrow starts chapter 11, and you have your PowerPoint slides. Have any questions, text me, email, or give me a call. Enjoy, stay safe, and I'll see you all on Thursday.
Thank you.
All right,
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.